Cool. Okay. Welcome everybody to another edition of kind of what I call my wholesaler highlights through the OSJ group. My guest today is Parker Polder, founder and CEO of CareAlly. Parker, how you doing, my friend?
Awesome, Colt. Glad to be here and welcome back. Congratulations on the wedding.
Yeah,
Big
there you go. Appreciate the
big
shout.
move. Yeah.
Yeah, anytime I can give Hannah a shout out in my work, it's a good day. So to give everybody a little bit of background who's watching, so I went to I'm forgetting the name of the conference now.
Yeah, I think it was the Shift
Shift
Human
conference. That's right.
Centered Conference.
Yeah,
Yes.
Shift conference, March 2024, um, in Orlando, Florida. It's about really centered towards kind of where the puck's going in our industry and how things are really shifting. Just we used to be investment managers, now it's financial planners. Now it's almost like life planning, behavioral finance, that sort of thing. Breakout session. I met Parker. He kind of told me a bit about his story and had a really unique value proposition and offering in the long-term care space. And Parker and I have talked a little bit more about it. We felt it'd be a good idea to kind of have a video recording today, have a demo set up where he can talk about his software CareAlly and how it can really be a value add to you as advisors as you're trying to have those conversations with clients about long-term care. So Parker, I'll turn to you. So tell me a little bit about CareAlly, the what, the why, and then as along the way if you need to start sharing kind of the demo and get into it. But please, the floor is yours, sir.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it, Colt. Thanks for the opportunity. You know, when you mention long-term care, I'm not going to lie, I get kind of uncomfortable, right? And I imagine that your advisors also get uncomfortable when we talk about long-term care because it's something that's not fun to talk about.
Yeah.
Um, and it's there's a lot of things that are sort of outside of advisors' wheelhouse when it comes to this. There's the emotions, the finances. There's a lot of things that kind of go into play. Um, and this is especially true for your sandwich generation clients who are worried about aging parents. When we hear about long-term care, it just makes us concerned. And so this is really about like how do we help people to be more proactive than reactive? And
Right.
instead of long-term care, this is all about choice, dignity, independence, and options. And when we frame it that way, it actually opens up the conversation to be much more inclusive for all of your clients and really help them to make sure that they are thinking about some of these challenges in the future. But what we're going to talk about today is really focus on the sandwich generation, right? These are your clients in their 40s to early 60s. They have aging parents, but they also have either kids at home, kids that have gone to college, or kids that have gone to college and have now come back home, right?
Right, right.
Um, and one of the things that we hear time and time again is that advisors are looking for solutions and not just sympathy, right? Like advisors want to offer their clients ways to be more prepared and to have these types of conversations with their parents. And so that's what we've created. Let me kind of walk you through a demo of our caregiver assistance program, and we can kind of talk about this along the way. So let me bring that up on my screen here.
Sure.
There you go. Colt, can you see my screen?
Yeah, I got yes, you care hub listed up right there. Yep.
Yeah, perfect.
Maria's talking in the background, but we got her. She's muted and it's behind
Yes,
the
perfect, perfect. Colt, this is something I dealt with my family right around 3 years ago, where my dad in particular got sick pretty quickly. I'm one of five siblings. My sister's a doctor, but we still didn't know what questions to ask. We didn't know who to turn to for help. We didn't know what we should be focusing on. And so we were left with a lot more questions than answers. But this is something that a lot of your advisors will deal with their sandwich generation clients. The problem is that a lot of clients aren't talking to your advisors about this challenge. They don't know that your advisors can help. And that means that a lot of times your clients are going to wait until there's a crisis before they have to make these decisions or have these conversations.
Mhm.
And when they wait until there's a crisis, oftentimes they're forced to make really expensive and emotional and reactive decisions. I call this the sandwich generation tax, right?
Right.
Where the older adult has to leave her job because, the oldest daughter leaves her job because she has to take care of her parents. Or, and that, what's that cost of that retirement, lost retirement and contribution savings? Literally can be 10, 20, 30, $50,000
Yeah.
over a couple of years. Or the family had to choose expensive senior living because the more cost-effective ones had a 5-year wait list,
Right.
right? And that can add up to 50 to $100,000,
Hmm.
right, over a couple of years difference. And so what we're trying to do is how do we help your families to be more prepared so they can make more confident, better decisions, they can have more options. And the way to do that is with our caregiver assistance program. So Colt, the way we kind of are positioning this to advisors is think of this as a membership for all of your clients and prospects. We want every one of your clients and prospects in the sandwich generation to have access to this platform. And so today, what I wanted to do was just to quickly highlight a number of the key benefits to membership of our Care Hub.
Hmm.
So, when you think about the Care Hub and caregiving, there really is a journey. Clients are either curious, they're concerned, or they're in crisis. And one of the big benefits of the Care Hub is the fact that what we have done is we've brought together the most essential topics and guides and resources related to each stage of this journey. So the curious journey, right, or the curious stage is all about starting to think about what might happen as your parents get older, right? And so some of those really important topics are what to look out for when visiting aging parents, or the difference between forgetfulness and dementia. We actually have a team of care navigators who have a lot of personal and professional experience. And Colt, they've actually assembled the most essential topics that clients need to be focused on at different stages. So, again, this is the curious stage. And at the crisis stage, it's all about, discharge planning and tips for hospital advocacy. Each one of these topics has a really comprehensive guide and different articles and resources. So now that your clients can feel more prepared, right? They have the information at their fingertips. And what it does, Colt, is that it helps them to avoid going down this Google rabbit hole where
Yeah.
they're searching for this information on their own. They're oftentimes more confused when they leave Google than when they started. But like, what happens if we can help your clients feel more confident and hopeful by giving them the right information at the right time,
Hmm.
and helps them to make better decisions? So one of the big benefits here is that we sort of aggregate all of this really high quality information that is aligned with your client's caregiving journey, so they have this information at their fingertips. So that's the first thing that we offer. The second thing that we offer with our Care Hub is different types of expert-led virtual events. In fact, I just did one a couple days ago. That was all about being prepared for hospital discharge because it's a really emotional time for in your client's life. But the next one that's coming up is called Beyond Google, right? The smart way to find local resources for aging parents.
Hmm.
And so every month we do a new webinar that's led by our team of care navigators. Sometimes we bring in special guests as well. Your clients can watch this live or they can watch a recording. Very, very flexible. And if they are live, they can ask Maria, our lead care navigator, questions. So if your clients are curious, the guides and the resources are great. If they're concerned, right, maybe they want some more information, they're unpacking these topics a bit more, and this is helpful. And if they're in crisis, Cole, this is where we add the most value, that all of your clients and prospects get unlimited free 20-minute calls with our care navigation team.
Hmm.
So, like when your clients are in crisis, they have questions, right? We last week we helped a family figure out like how to start conversation with my mom about taking away the car keys because it's no longer safe for her to drive. Or a couple weeks ago, Colt, we helped a family better understand what are the questions I should be asking and the red flags I should be noticing as I'm considering, senior living options for my parents.
Hmm.
At the end of the day, like your clients have questions. They can't turn to financial advisors to talk about these very emotional and health centric topics,
Hmm.
but they can turn to our team of care navigators. So Maria has her master's of public health, over a decade of experience. And by setting up these free 20-minute calls, it really helps clients to feel more confident and supported. It makes them realize there actually is someone they can turn to, there's someone they can trust, there's someone they can count on to help them through these really difficult types of conversations or experiences they may be dealing with. So that's what clients get, right? Clients are getting the guides and the resources. They're getting the expert-led virtual events. They're getting the one-on-one care coaching. But advisors, they get a lot of value as well. Within our caregiver assistance program, we have a dedicated and branded section just for advisors.
Mm.
So now your advisors can add in their name, their logo, their contact details. And then what our team will do is we'll brand a lot of this content as your advisors. And this is really helpful because we want your clients and prospects to know that the advisors are the ones who are offering this service and this membership to them, right? We want to make sure that they're getting the credit so that because they're offering this valuable service and experience to their clients and prospects. The other thing that's really helpful is that we know that this content is really shareable. I know a lot of your advisors, they're putting together, monthly market updates and things like that. Oftentimes clients aren't sharing those market updates, but you know what content is shareable, Cole? If I'm doing a webinar, right? Or if your clients went to a webinar talking about the difference between forgetfulness and dementia, or if they read a great guide about how to ask questions when visiting parents. That content is really shareable
Yeah.
because I probably have a sister-in-law or a brother or another family member who is going through a very similar experience.
Right, it's
Uh,
relatable. Yeah.
yeah. And so it's great because now what we allow to happen in the Care Hub is all of your clients can now gift a free membership to the Care Hub to anybody they want, right? And then they can do this as many times as they want. So what you see happening over time is that your advisors now are going to be able to begin to expand their reach, build a network, and everyone knows that, these advisors are the ones who are providing this valuable service because it's all branded with their information, their contact details, as well as the advisors now will get the name and email addresses of anybody who has been gifted a free membership. So again, your clients are getting this great content. They're just getting this very valuable membership with the content, expert-led webinars, and the unlimited free care coaching. Advisors are getting a great platform to help to add value, to deepen engagement, and to build qualified referrals over time. So that's kind of what we built at CareAlly, and we're really excited. We've been working with a number of advisors, getting great feedback from clients as well as advisors, and love to kind of share some more details with advisors in your network that may be interested in providing this type of membership to their clients and prospects.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I know, for those watching at home, like I know Parker and I, he showed me kind of the demo again, but it's just so impressive to me. Like just having a very approachable site, all kind of filter. I mean, like you nailed it earlier when you said like we all kind of have like we either had the story or we know someone that had the story. And for me, it was my mother-in-law when Hannah and I first started dating. Hannah's grandmother, so the mother-in-law's mom, like started suffering from like I guess cognitive issues and that sort of thing, and they kind of and the mom was just kind of taking care of her and she was just at home by herself. And I remember the second you showed me this that first time, I immediately thought of her because I was like, man, like
Mm.
she was kind of alone and like figuring out what to do, how to do it. So like to have some type of resource where she had someone to talk to, like, hey Maria, what do I do with this? What do I do with that? And just having that coaching where it's like she's probably saying she probably has the right idea, like I need to, tell my mom she can't do XYZ, but it's not like what you say, but how you say it. So I imagine Maria's
Absolutely.
expertise comes into play on that. And you mentioned earlier, take me back to the one part where it's like shows the financial advisor page there.
Yeah.
Um, so it sounds to me like basically an advisor. And how much would it cost for an advisor to have access to like the Care Hub, like for their business and their clients?
Yeah, it's $99 per advisor per month. It
Mm.
gives you unlimited access for all of your clients and all of your prospects to have all of the benefits here of the Care Hub.
So okay, so in scenarios where there's an offices, it's like a team where it's like almost like an ensemble team. Is there like an enterprise type of thing where it's
There
like
is, yes, definitely. We've done that in the past where
like
there's
basically
a
gotta customize
significant
that a little
economy
bit?
of scale. Yeah.
Yeah, because what I can envision is like really leveraging. Like what was coming to mind is like using insurance. I've heard one of our advisors use this concept. You know, building wealth through insurance, but also protecting wealth through insurance. So if you have like your brand, in our case, Athlon Advisors, and we're sharing this out to all of our clients. It's one I'm thinking of, not to be a little crude, but like there's a lot of sales opportunities involved with just long-term care products in general in this front. But that is kind of the angle I think about it, because I've seen retirement projections that can get derailed.
Yeah,
I just like a long-term care event that's, like you said, like a 4 to 5 year endeavor that could cost $300,000.
easily. Yeah.
So, so to have an accessible site where it's just kind of building awareness around it, I can see an advisor building an entire marketing plan behind this concept if they're trying to leverage insurance products to protect and grow wealth for their clients. So,
Because I mean, here's what's happening, right? Kind of behind the scenes. So, a client in the sandwich generation, right? They're wanting the hub because they're worried about their aging parents,
right,
and they're beginning to see how their aging parents are impacting them, right, and their family.
right,
And those sandwich generation clients are now beginning to think to themselves, Colt, I don't want to be a burden on my kids. What do I need to do so
right,
that my kids aren't in the same position that I'm in today? What insurance do I need to put in place to protect my family? So it really this as your sandwich generation clients are dealing with their parents,
mhm,
it serves as a wake up call to say, you know what, like I need to do something, and which is a good sales opportunity for your advisors who know that as their clients are engaging with the hub, that's a touch point
yeah,
that the advisor should now reach out and say, hey, I know you're dealing with this, right? Here's a way to support you, and and here are some ways for you not to be a burden on your kids in the future because I know that's it's sort of front and center and top of mind.
right. No, for sure. Yeah, like I think it's, and when you just for clarity, sandwich generation, what's the typical age range for sandwich generation?
Generally, like 45 to 60 is the typical age range.
Right. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. I remember in my experience, like a lot of times, like you kind of notice when clients that need long-term care, it's way too late to get any type of good insurance policy or any type of, you can't really plan that well at
Yep.
that point. Like, but it's an interesting conversation. Like it's ideal, like any insurance, like life insurance, long-term care, the sooner you can have the conversation, the better. But it's like having a conversation with like a 25-year-old out of college in their job being like, hey, you should get life insurance for, and they're like,
Yeah.
I'm healthy though. And it's like, no, 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 like you're healthiest you're gonna be right now. Like we should get it now and like lock all the rate in. So like same with long-term care, where it's, and if anything, long-term care is kind of an easier pitch because like you're more likely to have that, or actually that's a dumb statement because you will die at some point. But statistically speaking, like it was like what 60-70% of individuals go through some type of long-term care incident. So
Yeah.
having the conversation early, I like that it serves a value add for your clients who happen to be in that generation because they're now equipped with resources to help their parents. So
Yep.
you're making their lives easier, and now it's that exact kind of segue you've been looking for as an advisor to really bring up that topic and leverage these resources to really hammer home what you've been trying to tell them, and it leads to more business, for sure.
It does. And it also, and we've created this in a way so that we make it very easy for the advisors to introduce this and give this to their clients and
Mhm.
prospects, right? There's a lot of ways to promote this on social, right? On LinkedIn, on different social channels, put this in email newsletters, so there's a lot of ways, introduce it clearly during individual one-on-one client meetings. Those are all ways to introduce this. Um, but it also helps the advisors not to be an expert here with all the health and the wellness and the emotional pieces. Like we want to be your expert, right? Maria and our team of care navigators are well equipped to be able to speak very confidently and empathetically with clients who are dealing with these challenges. And that way we take a lot of it off the plate of your advisors so that your advisors aren't opening up a can of worms where they can't offer
Yeah,
solutions,
yeah,
right? We can be that solution. We can be that resource for clients and prospects.
yep, 100%. I mean, even in my time as an advisor, like I'm 30 now, but even when I was younger, I knew I needed to talk about long-term care, but I didn't know how to deliver it.
Yeah.
And because it is a different delivery than just asset allocation recommendations or projecting like financial goals. So no, to have your team of experts at a given price point to build that awareness sounds good. So okay, so outside of that, I mean, we got the care. We talked about the pricing on, enterprise kind of level relationships. Anything else that you want to highlight, Parker, before we wrap up here?
No, I mean, it really is. This is just an opportunity for your advisors to offer solutions and not just sympathy. So they can helping their clients as well as their prospects to be more confident, to feel more supported, because we know that they're almost all of your clients are going to deal with this at some point in time, dealing with their aging parents. Let's just help them to be more prepared because if we can help them to be more prepared and proactive, we can end up saving them money, helping them to have more options, and really cementing that relationship with the advisor and the client of helping the client through a very difficult and emotional process and helping kind of get in front of some of those challenges. More than happy to set up a personalized demo for any advisor who's interested and share some more case studies when the time is right.
Nice. And that was actually what I was going to ask. Like, so moving forward, how do advisors get in touch with your team? Is there like, is it directly to you? Is there like a wholesaler they talk to, or
Yeah, I mean, the best way is me, right?
okay,
Either go to our website, joincareally.com and schedule time, or
okay,
just shoot me an email, Parker at joincareally. I'll send you over a calendar link, and we can spend 30 minutes just learning more about kind of your client demographic and profile,
sure.
kind of what challenges you've seen, and then how we may be able to help.
Awesome. Okay, great. All right. Well, thank you, Parker, again for your time today. I really appreciate it. It seems like you're doing a great service here, and I'm hoping that more and more advisors can start figuring this out. And with that, I'll make sure, like I told you, I'll get this sent out to all of our advisors and not only in our OSJ, but hopefully in the Cambridge network to keep building this awareness. So thank you again for your time, man. I
Great.
appreciate
Thanks, Colt. Take care.
it.